With all of what's going on in the media, with the protests that are happening, I think it's important that we all do our best to make sure that people understand why these things are occurring. And for those who don't, it's a good time to start listening, to start paying attention, to try to understand and make sure that we all end up on the right side of this thing once it's all said and done, so that we don't go back to the way things were, because the way things were was not working. The Bible they gave us said that man should have dominion over the beasts of the fields and the fowls of the air. So they put us out in the fields to work like beasts and segregated us by the shades of our skin and the textures of our hair. They stole our bodies, caged our minds, and brutalized our very souls. Rewrote our history, and they tried to kill our cultures with the old. And when they saw that owning us was no longer advantage us, they set us free or let us loose to face a more systemic noose. For generations, we have been deprived of our right to thrive in peace. Rights are not given, they just are. So why do we have to fight for what was always ours? And when will the constant degradation cease? You see a threat. I see a husband, a father, an uncle, a brother, a cousin, a partner, a king. I see a man who didn't do anything except stand and walk and talk and breathe. I see that in spite of what he didn't do, his family is now bereaved. We know of what he was accused. We know due process was not used. We have proof of his murderer's guilt, but he's alive, so patience wilts. He lost a job, we lost a life, and that's just cause for civil strife. You see a threat. I see a king whose brilliant crown needs straightening, because each time we step outside, our truest selves we're forced to hide, for fear that when we shine too bright, some ignoramus outs our light. For fear that when for help we call, the ones who come will end it all. Because just based on what they see, we could fall off a balcony. For fear of violence authorized, tasers, gunshots, mason eyes. For fear that blue, when left unchecked, will plant a knee into our neck. It's not a one-off happening, something that just got out of hand. It's not a time to turn the cheek or wait to see where this will land. We've seen what power left unchecked can bring about in policy. We know that what one side calls great, for all the rest means slavery. We know that when we stand apart, a devil comes and stands between. We know that time and time again, it plays out in ways that are sick and obscene. We've seen abstract stereotypes of ourselves on screen, typecast portrayals meant to miseducate and demean, glorification of the ones who looted our places of origin, demonization of our traditions relabeled as sin, bastardized interpretations of what our cultural symbols mean, our entire relevance reduced to a month in a season with which we do not connect. And in all of that, you expect there to be no effect. You expect us to stay calm, stand down, and not make a scene?